Hey guys, Maximus the Fourth here, and today I'm going to be talking to you on how exactly to cut a very big log with a chainsaw and why it is so important to sketch out a plan. If you take out the complete log with me, you'll see what I'm up against. Notice that log. You notice how there's airspace underneath it in most of the log going all the way down. Now, those air spaces are going to be really good to just make your cuts from the top down. Earlier, I actually got my saw stuck because there was no airspace underneath the log. And when there's no airspace and the log is veering downward like this, there's an incredible amount of pressure that's created. If there's no airspace but the log is more tilted like this, then it's still safe to cut from the top down instead of down up if there's no airspace. Let me show you a safer spot where you can still cut up and down when there's no airspace. So yada yada yada, let's just walk down this entire log that way you guys can see it. Okay, notice the airspace ends right there. Okay. Now, as far as cutting from top to bottom on this larger part of the tree where there's no airspace, you're probably going to be okay because the tree is more at an angle like this. If it's tilted down, like I said earlier, like this, and there's no airspace, then that's very bad. At that point, it would be worth it to dig holes underneath each and every spot where you're going to make your cuts. So now that I've told you guys how to cut your tree and why it's so important to have a plan, now I'm going to demonstrate cutting some of these rounds. Might have ran out of gas there. Part of your plan that you always want to remember is chainsaws can be very unpredictable. A lot of times they will flood on you to where you can't start them until the next day. That just basically means that the gas has traveled into the saw in places where it can't start unless it's cleaned out. A lot of times, if you just wait the next day, it'll start right up. So my middle-sized saw has pretty much flooded on me and it's not starting. So now it's looking like I'm going to have to use the 30-inch beast faster than I was planning, which is not a problem. So let's get into this. Always remember, have at least 3 chainsaws because they will flood up on you. Here we go. Cutting wood can be very grueling, so you're also going to want to make sure that you pack plenty of food, because when you're cutting wood, especially if you're going to have to carry it and stack it, you wouldn't believe how many calories you burn. From wood cutting, you can burn 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day. And in my case, yes, I'm going to have to carry all of these rounds. Put them in the back of that truck, and then stack them on this property where the guy wants it. With that said, let's continue on with these cuts. I'm going to keep you guys on here until I finish this entire log. Readjust so you guys can see the cuts. as you're getting into some of these pieces that have no airspace underneath them, that are safe to cut from the top down, you want to be very careful not to hit the dirt, because as a lot of people know, if you hit the dirt with your chainsaw, that's bad news. You got to turn it off and sharpen the chain, and it's just a hassle. So especially when you're using a really long chainsaw like I'm using for these big rounds, which is necessary when you're getting down to the lower part of it, what you want to do is you want to pull that blade out as much as you can, because the less amount of blade that's overextending the round is going to save you from hitting the dirt. And when you're getting low, just feather it. Don't go all out, because you're going to hit the dirt every single time. And if you just time it and pay really close attention, you should be able to cut it low enough to where you can generate enough force by wiggling it to break the round off of the log. Alright you guys, so I'm running low on footage space, so I'm not going to be able to get through the entire round. But the last thing I want to show you guys is how to cut rounds in half. A lot of these rounds are going to be way too heavy to pick up. So I'm going to cut a couple of them in half to show you guys exactly what it should look like. And some of them are so big that you actually might need to cut the rounds into fourths. So let me get set up here and I'll show you guys how to cut a few of the rounds in half. Never ever overdo it on the amount of weight you're carrying with these rounds. You'll mess your back up faster than you could ever even believe. Trust me, it's safer to just cut them in half or even in fourths if you need to. It's going to save you a lot of hassle. Take it from somebody in me that's had 9 years worth of chainsaw experience. Now, some of these rounds won't be so heavy. A lot of them are okay for short distance lifting, just like I lifted that one up on that other round. And on this cut, I'm going to actually cut this way and not that way and go with the grit of the wood. You guys would be amazed. If you cut this way with the wood, the chainsaw actually performs a lot better, but you can't cut rounds like that. It just makes no sense cutting the tree in half. So let me demonstrate a few of these rounds cutting in half, and then we'll be done here. See how much bigger those strands are when you're going with the grit of the wood? Okay, guys, and that is how you properly plan to cut big rounds. I should have covered everything in this video and all the possible scenarios you're going to come across, and go out and try it yourself. Always remember, cutting wood is very grueling. So make sure you bring lots of water and lots of food, because you're going to burn 6,000 to 7,000 calories. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Maximus the Fourth here. I am signing out, and I will see you next time.